All right, legends, in this episode, we are taking a look at the higher timeframes. Are you ready to what is to come here for the next coming months? Because it is not looking great for the price of Bitcoin. Now, we are just over 200 days away from the Bitcoin halving, and the DXY is looking extremely bullish, meaning that Bitcoin crypto in stocks are likely to have a major corrective move in the months ahead, entering into 2024. What is going to happen to the interest rates? We're taking a look at the lower timeframes, technical analysis to see what are the possibilities. What are the targets here for Bitcoin in the next coming days? This is a pattern that we mentioned on yesterday's video here, very likely to get a corrective move. Of course, that high over here at 27,450 was not claimed yesterday. It would have been nice for another reclaim here and a failed breakout. However, this did not happen. We are starting to correct. What are the levels? What are the next trading opportunities, guys? If you want to know this, make sure to stay tuned. Hi there, Andy here. Welcome back to another episode of Bitcoinsensus. Let's dive in, guys. I want to go through higher time frames so you can understand what is to come here in the next coming months. Of course, afterwards, we will be taking a look at the lower time frames. There was actually a great shorting scenario that was mentioned yesterday in the Legends community. We did get some people actually shorting this fake out of the value area high and the resistance of this symmetrical triangle. This is basically this trade right over here. Of course, people actually getting into that trading setup in the Legends trading community with the best exchange, which is Bybit, guys. Remember, if you are an experienced trader and you want a huge amount of bonus for your trading, you have $30,000 worth of bonus to be claimed down below in the description, guys. If you haven't signed up for Bybit yet, it is the best cryptocurrency exchange for me, in my opinion. Let's dive in on the higher time frames, guys. Then we go through the short-term analysis to take a look what are the next possible setups. So diving in here on the Bitcoin price on the higher time frames, let me let you understand that this white vertical line is the Bitcoin halving. That is going to be around about April. Late April is very likely going to be the date for this, which is just round about 217 days away. As you can see here, the Bitcoin halving countdown on the Bitcoinsensus website. So what is going to happen till then? I've been explaining how we've been mirroring the last cycle, guys. Now, history does not repeat, but it does rhyme. In this case, it has been repeating the peaks and the bottoms from the previous cycle. As from high to high, it has been exactly 4 years. There is actually just a few weeks of difference, but overall, it's been 4 years. From top to bottom, it has been exactly 1 year here as well. Give or take a few weeks of difference, but the timing is very similar. If you do take a look at Fibonacci time here from the peak here to the bottom, and then as you can see from this peak to the bottom, it's a 1-to-1. As you can see exactly here, the same timing. So from the bottom here to the peak that has happened in July, very similar price action, very similar timing as well. There's just a couple of weeks of difference. Right now, what we can see here, hey, if we've been mirroring this kind of movement from previous cycle, what is to come next if we are going to follow? Well, obviously, that is a pretty intense downtrend, as you can see here from the previous cycle, till we reach the halving. So does that mean that we are likely going to see bearish momentum here in the next coming months till we reach the halving? That is round about 7 months away from now. My answer is yes, guys. It is not looking great. Of course, we do have the DXY, which is looking extremely bullish. This has shifted from a bearish trend of the last 10 months and is actually right now created a new higher high, as you can see. And this is very likely going to create a higher low and going to have that bullish momentum for the next coming months till it actually faces some resistance levels. If not, going to hit here the highs, and that will be, of course, extremely bearish for not only Bitcoin and crypto, obviously for the stock market, entering into that possible recession, as interest rates are still going to be high. They are still going to maintain them until 2024. Maybe Q1 of 2024, we're going to start getting those interest rates down, but this does not mean that everything is going to be extremely bullish, right? As interest rates are going to start becoming down here into 2024, that is probably when we are going to start to see the effects of interest rates being hiked, okay, in 2023. all of this interest rates going up here and maintaining in between 5 and 5.5%. We're not seeing massive effect right now. The effect is likely going to be entering into 2024. And as we try to cool down, the interest rates and put them down, that is when the market and the world economy will likely get into this recession, right? The US basically. So like I said, that is going to be the start. That is once the markets start crashing down potentially right to the end of the year, beginning of 2024, that is when the opportunity is going to happen. That is where we want to accumulate very aggressively when the markets crash, guys. Remember the C19 crash back in 2020, right over here, of course, that major crash was a huge major opportunity. If we were to get any kind of recession, stock market crash here happening by the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, right, entering here close to the halving, that is just going to bring us that huge, big, major opportunity. Remember, spot Bitcoin ETF is very likely going to be approved in Q1 of 2024, which is just slightly before the halving, guys. So everything connects to a big, massive white swan event here, late 2024, entering into 2025. Everything looks very good for Bitcoin, obviously. Now let's dive in here on the lower timeframes and analyze this situation over here. Now, yesterday we were talking about that harmonic pattern, the cipher pattern here that looks like it is playing out very, very nicely. This cipher pattern here was looking quite bearish, of course. Now, I was expecting a possible move here to the upside to hit that 7-8 Fibonacci again, to hit those highs. But by the looks of things, we are already correcting here to the downside, and lower prices is very likely. Now, let me explain a little bit more of this cipher pattern right over here that it has been respecting very nicely from X to A here, the 382 Fibonacci retracement, and from B to C, we can see the 1.27 here, and then getting this rally to the 7-8, as you can see here very nicely. What are the targets of this cipher pattern, which is a harmonic pattern here, and it's bearish? We are breaking down right now from local patterns here, such as this symmetrical triangle, and it looks like that, of course, lower prices is very possible. It's very likely to happen. So let's just take a look here at this range that we formed since the 17th of August, since this huge, big, major drop that we had right there. So what we can see that inside of this range, the value area high is being lost of this level, which was a very strong resistance. The $26,700 range was actually acting very nicely as resistance and as support, and we are currently losing this zone. Now, this means one thing here for me, that we are likely going to have that continuation to the downside here in the next coming hours, next coming days. So where is the target of this cipher pattern? Well, it's coming all the way down to the C point, coming down to $25,000. This is probably going to take a few days, but this is no longer bullish. This uptrend here that we were talking about here for the last few days was very choppy, was very corrective. This is no longer impulsive. It is a corrective uptrend, and we are likely going to have a move down to eat up all of these higher lows. And I can already tell you, yes, we are on our way to do that. All right. So any bounces from this zone is just going to be a nice shorting opportunity here for scalping. If you are attempting any long positions, we need to be extremely cautious, try and get in at the lowest level possible. If the markets give us a nice little bounce, of course, we take those profits instantly, because you're basically fighting the trend, and we know that we are likely going to eat up all of these higher lows over here. First big major bounce will be at likely that $26,000, which is the point of control range. That is the 618 Fibonacci from the C point to D point right over here, just round about that range, just slightly in between $26,000 and $25,900. We would expect a small little bounce right there. That would be the take profit one from this bearish cipher harmonic pattern. And of course, overall, I would be expecting lower. I would be expecting the $25,000 to be hit. This is possibly going to take a few days. I think it's unlikely that it's going to happen today. But overall, that is the major target. So if we were to hit here, the 618 point of control, and get that bounce, obviously I am not looking for a long position here. This would be fighting the trend. We would have to form a kind of a double bottom scenario at this point of control of this range over the last 3 to 4 weeks, and also here hit the 618, form that kind of double bottom scenario to get into a possible long scenario. Right now, yes, if this bounce does happen and we do get a pretty nice aggressive move here to the upside, the only interesting zone that I would get into a short would be the $26,700 range, which would be the value area high of this trading range over the last 3-4 weeks, right, where it has been respected as resistance here, as you can see on the chart, for a potential short position. All right, so these are the kind of levels that I'm looking internally. Fighting the trend right now is not an option, only for scalps. Get in, get out if you're attempting any long positions. All right, I go very carefully with the Legends community. There was actually a small little scalp long here, but it would just pump to $100. I was very much aware of, guys, you know, this is likely going to continue to the downside. If you want to jump into the short positions, you want to get in at the highest level possible, wait for those bounces, as we could have a quick little bounce. And if you're shorting here at the low, you're probably going to get stopped out or wrecked here with a possible quick rise. All right, so those rises that can happen in the immediate short term are likely going to be a good shorting opportunity. We are losing the value area high of this entire trading range that we've had for the last few weeks. This is very much looking bearish, guys. The overall target that I would be looking for here in the coming days is coming all the way down to $25,000. So any bounces here is just for me going to be a great shorting opportunity. It's going to be very hard here for a sign of strength, even though we do get some bounces to $27,000 again. For me, it's just going to be a great opportunity for shorts. I will be analyzing very carefully where are the next trading setups with the Legends community, guys. But overall, talking about this pattern, the high was not taken here again. We're overall looking at this as a corrective move. This is not impulsive. It is very choppy, and we're likely going to eat up all of these higher lows here in the next coming hours and coming days, guys. So the market does look quite bearish. Stay safe out there. Remember, you do have an insane bonus on Bybit of $30,000. This is for experienced traders, guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.